Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews back. We got our Miller shirt back on. We got our Thomas Jane Miller shirt back on, and it's time to talk The Expanse. It's been a year. A lot of stuff has happened since the last time we saw the Rocinante crew, and some craziness has ensued. So we're here to talk about Season 5, and we're going to kind of loosely talk about Episodes 1, 2, and 3. I want to thank everybody that watches these, because there's going to be a shitload of people covering this now that there are less things to cover these days. So picking these, thank you very much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please consider becoming a subscriber. Look at all our old Expanse videos and the 1,500 plus other videos we got on the channel. Want to thank everybody that's been watching lately. It's been kind of a dry spell for the channel for a minute. It's nice to be talking about something that I haven't talked about in a while, and let's jump right in, because yeah, I mean, I didn't know about the drama surrounding this show with Kazanvar and that whole thing. That was really rough hearing. And then finding out about Season 6 being the final season, which just like feels just completely wrong, unless they're doing like a 20 plus episode Season 6 or something maybe. Even then, it just feels like they rescued it just to finish it, like, I don't know, quicker than it's supposed to be finished. Or they've got some future plans that we just don't know about. But also want to give a shout out, if you watched these, go check out over at Enchantment of Eternity, where we've got Mark and Dee and Don Willie and other people talking about every episode this season on a live discussion. I think it's on Thursday nights. I think it's actually probably on right about now. Or going to be airing right about now where I'm recording this, or soon to be. Check out their channel where they talk about The Expanse as well. So, The Expanse Season 1 through 3, to me, is one of the best consistent series of television. 1, 2, and 3 are just both, to me, some of the most phenomenal television that you'll ever see. Then it gets canceled. Then it gets brought back by Amazon. And it comes out on Amazon. Drops it all at once, which I was, there's this like weird debate between binging and not binging, and weekly versus not weekly. And there's been some people on weird sides that, like, me personally, I don't like to binge anymore. I got a lot going on in my life. I like to take my time with things. But people that have been sitting around for COVID, they're just sitting here like salivating for the next thing. Anyway, I was happy to see that this was dropping the first 3 and then week to week after that, right? But The Expanse Season 4 to me felt like a really long movie about a story that I guess I was just kind of underwhelmed with. It felt like a epilogue to Season 3 in a way, like a beginning of the rings, the situations that's out there and the difficulties that they're already running into, and also closing out like Miller's and the Proto-Molecule story for the most part. And while, look, I love all the characters in Season 4. I love what they did with, the characters. I just wasn't that invested in the story. I continued to really like what's going on with the side characters, mainly like Drummer and Ashford. And now with Ashford gone, going into this, dying, hiding his message, hopefully somebody to see it. We start Season 5, and like I said, I liked Season 4 fine. I wasn't in love with it. It was a hard act to follow after the first 3 seasons, and finding a new home and figuring out what to do. Now we get to Season 5, and I don't know, like, they dropped the first 3 episodes. I just finished the 3rd episode, and Well, I gotta say, it's definitely, to me, a step up from season 4. These first 3 episodes could have been like just a movie. They could have just said, here's episode 1, and we're going to make it like a 2-hour movie. And then we'd have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever we have left. Because this was just a lot of like what I'm not used to from this show, but what started happening in season 4, where we take kind of a simple series. They're on the planet. They got the problem with the aliens on it, or the alien, stuff on the planet, and there's like a feud between the people. Meanwhile, we got Bobby doing her thing, right? This also feels like they're dragging out story in using 3 episodes to set a ton of stuff up while having a really big, impactful ending of episode 3. And once again, I like all these episodes, but I feel like there's a ton of everything that Holden and Fred Johnson did, everything that Amos did, everything that Avasara did. I'm looking at everybody's plots, every single one, what Naomi was doing, and even Drummer. All that stuff could have been condensed down, because we just got little itty bits and pieces in 3 episodes of what everybody's doing, and what's setting everything up for the last 5 episodes of the season, or however many there are going to be. So I'm a little disappointed in that. But what we got was still good. It's just, especially that first episode, really felt like it was over, boom, quick. And there's just a lot of stuff that's, again, like I said, setting things up. But I'll mainly talk about the stuff that really excited me. First, of course, is the Amos storyline, right? I really liked what they did here. Him coming to Baltimore. I loved what he did on the ship, first off. He just whooped some ass. I mean, it felt you could maybe feel like it was a little too on the nose, like we haven't seen Amos in a year. Here's him kicking a bunch of people's asses for the right reasons, But he's back. And it's simple, again, it's very simple what he does here. There's nothing too deep with the adventures of Amos in Baltimore. People know of him. People that know of him get afraid that he's there. He explains why he's there. They're fine with him being there then, and then that's it. And I know that that's giving you the really big broad brushstrokes, but as the one guy said, that he gave him power or whatever went on there with him being in charge of things, kind of a mobster. This guy was worried that he was going to challenge that and try to take it from him. And once he realizes that he just wants to give, the house of his mother's, the guy who was with his mother when she died, he wants him to keep the house. And once they found out that that's all he wanted, they were like, "Oh, who cares? Fine, he can live there, he can stay there." And the guy tries to test him a little bit to see if he's playing him or whatever. But he literally, the guy even says it for us twice, I think. You really are just here about the house. And he goes, "I gotta go see somebody, and then leaves. And that's Amos's story. And he's a badass doing it. He's got the 1,000-yard stare down. But that's what he gets in 3 episodes. That's Amos's story. Naomi's story is even briefer. She goes to find Philip. She tells, Holden about, his lineage, who he is. She goes to find him. She finds him. She runs into some old friends at the same time. And once she finds her son, it goes exactly the way you'd expect. He rejects her. He's all about the dad because she abandoned him, and now he's being raised by this awful person, but he's you know I guess partially he's trying to punish Naomi, and he backstabs her, and they kidnap her. Her and her old buddies kidnap her, and that's Naomi's story, and that's all she gets. Is then we whoosh. I assume the next episode that will have Naomi in it is going to be some sort of trying to talk to her captors into getting free, because since she knows those people, that's what I assume will happen next for her. And I know I'm kind of sounding snarky about all this, but I'm really not. I mean, it's all fine. It was expected, though, when she found her son, that's what would happen to me. And that's, another thing is this show really usually is that came at you with that expect the unexpected. And so far, everything, really is straightforward. Now, Holden and Fred Johnson, on the other hand, have an interesting story going on, because Fred Johnson has what's left of the proto-molecule, and a whole big part of this story is people trying to get their hands on it or find out who has it. Because if this thing ever were to get loose again, it would cause havoc. And it deals with the reporter getting involved from last season and her getting kidnapped, and we have this kind of new beginning to a new conspiracy of who's behind the kidnapping, like, because the kidnappers end up, showing up dead. Like, I called that too. I was like, they get to the place. I said they're going to be dead. They literally open the door and their bodies fall out. But what's going on with Holden and them, I do like that. They're trying to set up a trap. There's, like, several traps being set up during this, because then you have Alex and Bobby. Now, Bobby, I'm so excited to have her back. I love that, even if because this was what's awkward, is she's playing opposite Alex, Kaz Anvar, who plays Alex, and now I'm like, I have all this information in my brain about the guy who plays him. I'm trying not to let that affect the character, the way I see the character. But he is Alex, they're trying to, with Abrasarawa backing them, Bobby is trying to find out who is behind selling, Mars weapons to the Belters. Alex getting involved, getting drugged, and Bobby coming to his rescue. And, her being just excited. That was the best part of seeing Bobby again, was her kicking ass. She's just kicking ass and taking names. And she's excited about her mission. She's happy to be doing what she's doing. She's really, really freaking gung-ho. I love it. That was, again, there was some energy missing from season 4, and what it was Bobby Draper working at least with some of the crew. Some of our, regular band of characters. What she was doing in season 4 was fine. It just, there was a lack of energy to her character, because she wasn't working and having that good banter that she would have with the rest of the team. So it's really good to see her back in action. She's Bobby and Amos and Drummer are my 3 favorite characters on this show. Now you got Avasara, who's dealing, she's backing Bobby. She's still working all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff, even though she's not in charge. But she is starting to feel what that's like, not being in charge, having people not listen to you. Kind of, there's some payback in here of, karma for some of the ways she's been to people on the way up, or while she was on the top. It's, it's how hard you, like the more higher you rise, the harder you fall. And she's kind of in that, like, what is my place? What can I do here? But something at the very end changes, her thought processes on this. She starts to get excited again. But with what happens at the end of episode 3, is going to play a huge part in the rest of the season. Which leads me to really talk about the last plot point, and that's Drummer. Kara G, again, kills it as this character who has been searching for Ashford played by David Strathairn, and he was such a great character. And by the end of season 4, I was just heartbroken. I was just so happy that that we had this character on this show and this actor to play it. And in this, she's trying to find his ship. We don't know this right away. What we see is her taking down Belter pirates, but not really taking them down. Kind of helping them pilfer, but making sure that they don't kill anybody. And then still report it. So she's kind of running a game, like a scam a little bit. Like letting the Belters profit and still reporting the crime, and then policing the Belters, making sure that they don't go off and start killing interplanet people. Just she's taking care of business, and I love what they do with her in this, and it's all about her, the guilt that she feels for knowing that Ashford went and didn't come back. And they start searching. They finally find Ashford's ship, and they start searching, and they're trying to find that message that he would have left. And I like what she says, "Come after me and you die." Like she has some great lines in this. She is not messing around. She is a force to be reckoned with and to be respected. She has earned her attitude. She has earned her confidence. She has earned a lot, and yet here she is still feeling guilty that like she couldn't be there for her friend when he died. And she finally does find his message in a freaking really clever spot. And she's going after him, like there's a $20 million bounty on Marco, so she's got that on the surface, but it's really for revenge. But it's mostly for revenge. But 20 million doesn't hurt. And like I said, she's feeling guilty because she was trying to set her own path when Ashford asked her to be his XO, and while they're saying to her, you would have died with him, she's like, yeah, but you never know. Like maybe or we took care of business together and we're drinking this bottle that he told me to wait for him, and now, we could have been drinking this instead of he's dead and now and I'm not. And she sends the messages, which is what Abrasarawa sees at the end of the episode, about Ashford and Marco and Aros. But she makes a point to say that this is not my fight, which probably means it's going to totally be her fight by the end of this. But I do love her arc. Her arc continues to be one of the best on the show because it's a continuing change from where the character started to where the character is now. I think a lot of the characters on the show, their development is a little slow or stunted right now. Or kind of just plateaued. But Drummers hasn't. Trying to think of anything else that I could be forgetting. But then the rock hits, right? The rock hits and boom, like we see this huge megaton explosion. So, and yeah, Philip takes Naomi with him. So lots going on in these first 3 episodes. I just wish a lot. Look, I'm done with this review and it's only 18 minutes in. And I know I probably could have talked a lot more about it, but it was fine. It was fine. I just, like I said, it's hard to stand up next to those first 3 seasons and not be looked at and not be compared to. Well, I'll take 3 fine, Expanse episodes over most stuff that's on TV right now. I got spoiled. Now, I know that there's more craziness to come, and this is going to ramp up. I just wish that we could have had this episode condensed into like 1 or maybe 2. Because again, everything that happened in these things could have been condensed down into like 1 episode in my opinion. But otherwise, it was great. It's great seeing everybody back. Amos is a badass. Bobby's a badass. Everybody's a badass on this show. So, anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and the bell for all notifications. Otherwise, we'll be back next week with episode 4 of The Expanse Season 5. Have a good one. Bye.